Is Canada too expensive to immigrate to?
When I start to talk about God, you will need to know the man I speak so highly of. That man can change your life from zero to hero in no time.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Ify, and yes, our YouTube channel is growing. I want to say a very big thank you to everyone that has subscribed to my channel. If you've not subscribed to my channel, I don't know, it's just for you to hit the subscribe button, right? Just hit the subscribe button so you can be benefiting, and don't forget to also hit the notification bell icon. Okay, so I always get this question a lot: is Canada too expensive to immigrate to right now? Okay, before I start answering, I want you guys to know that we have 10 provinces in Canada as well as 3 territories. So when you say Canada is very expensive, it's as if you're saying the whole of Canada, like the entire country, is expensive, which is not possible. The Ontario that people are saying is too expensive, there are some cities in Ontario that is very cheap and affordable. So it depends entirely on what you want. If you want a place that is very cheap in Ontario, you can go to the cities, some little cities, is community. You can go there, but one, it's very cold there, and at the same time there are no job opportunities, no school, nothing is happening there. So when you say Canada is expensive, it means you're generalizing the fact that the whole of Canada is expensive, which is not really true. There are some provinces, there are some cities, and there are some communities that you can go and it's very affordable. Take for example, did you guys listen to this recent news that the name is Cochrane in Ontario? It's a city in Ontario, is northern side. They are selling plot of land for $10.
Toronto, where a mere parking spot can cost more than $100,000, it's hard to imagine any plot of land at a discount.
But further afield in the northern Ontario town of Cochrane, how does $10 sound for a residential lot? There must be a catch, right? CTV's Scott Lightfoot reports.
The secret to finding an affordable place to live may be to look north. Way north. To the town of Cochrane, Ontario, a more than 7-hour drive from Toronto. There, city officials have come up with a plan they hope will encourage people to consider making the move.
We recognize the migration is taking place in the region, and we're doing what any progressive organization would do, which is we're being aggressive and opportunistic about attracting those folks to our municipality.
That approach involves a plan to offer lots for new home builds for just $10.
But the question is, who is going to buy? Anyway, some people will take the risk of buying the plot of land, right, for $10. So they are trying to develop that city, obviously. So we also have cheap cities in Ontario like Windsor, Thunder Bay, Brampton, and the rest of them that is very affordable. The rent, when I mean affordable, at least the rent is okay, relatively okay. The cost of groceries are okay, not too expensive, right? But then, like I mentioned in my last video, you guys should consider your job experience. Are they very high in demand in those cities? So when people that are maybe living in Ottawa is obviously very expensive, Toronto is expensive, Vancouver expensive, British Columbia is also expensive, but people still live there and their salary is very high enough at least to pay their rent and the rest. So when you say Canada is expensive, you are like generalizing, which is not true. It's not like the whole of Canada is expensive. It depends on where one chooses to live. True, the inflation is very high now, but it doesn't mean that the country is bad. There are so many benefits you can also benefit from this country. If you are on my live video on TikTok, I went shopping with $100, a gift card given to me by my son's school. This is just one of the benefit I receive as a permanent resident. There are also other benefits that you are entitled to. You know, people complain about the taxes. Well, they don't tell you that there is a benefit called the GST and HST tax that helps you to augment the taxes you usually pay when you go for groceries. Though it's not really big, but at least you get paid, you get reimbursement quarterly. So when people complain the taxes is high, the health system is not okay, and the rest, that does not mean that Canada is entirely bad. Like what I always tell people, you should know why, the reason you are immigrating. This country is a country that works very well. If you understand their laws, it works very well. And if you know how to budget, you should be able to save, no matter how menial, how little you earn from your income. You should be able to save if you're someone that knows how to budget very well. So don't allow social media to deceive you guys that Canada is no longer a good country to immigrate to. Things are working extremely very well here. So even when the country, the inflation is very high, and it's not just peculiar to Canada alone, inflation is everywhere. But the good part is the country is in a good shape. It's working. It's not like it's falling apart. People that maybe they are really complaining, maybe people that have lived here for so long, like one of my clients was telling me, giving me an experience, how much she used to buy some things when she goes for shopping. For example, she mentioned there is this thing they call, is a kind of Chinese food. I've forgotten the name. She said she used to buy that for like 60 cents, but now it's $2. And then she also told me about bread, that the bread that we are now buying for like $4. Don't forget, I'm in Ottawa, okay? So the prices might be different. That the bread that we are buying for $4, $5 used to be like 90 cents and all that. But the thing is because of inflation. People in Nigeria back home, we know that inflation is still happening there. But so you should understand that even when inflation is happening, it doesn't mean that the country is bad. So don't allow people to discourage you from coming into the country. You don't allow people to discourage you, especially when you know the major reason why you are immigrating. People have different reasons for immigrating. Some people, they have, it's not about just the money. They want because of the children's future, right? They want their children to have a good future. Why some they immigrate? Because of the blue passport. With Canada's passport, you should be able to travel like up to like 190 something countries visa free with their blue passport. Even as a permanent, if you become a permanent resident, there are some countries you can travel free of charge. So don't allow the inflation, what is happening now, to discourage you from coming to Canada. Except you are okay. Even when people say I'm earning, someone came to my DM and asked, I'm earning 3 million monthly in Nigeria, like including the wife's income, his own income, as well as some other side things they are doing, like approximately 3 million. I told the person, if the 3 million is okay for you, you can stay, because I will never ever tell somebody come to Canada or don't come to Canada. I will always tell you, know the reason why you want to immigrate. Do not immigrate because somebody or your friends are immigrating to a new country. Don't allow someone to like push you. You should know the reason why. You should convince yourself. Now, I want you guys to also know that in the first few months, it's very difficult. Why? Because you are obviously immigrating to a new country. But it will not like be permanent. It will not be permanently difficult. Once you get your accommodation, you get a job. From that job, you'll be able to increase your skills. You can learn online. Like now, I'm still learning online and adding to my certifications while I'm working. So once you get the first job, it will land you Canadian experience and you start applying for more jobs. You move. It's always difficult at first, but it will not be permanently difficult. So in summary, to answer this 1 billion question, is Canada still a good country to immigrate to? 100% yes. 100% yes. Immigrate to Canada if you want the future of your children to be, and some other things that some other deciding factors that is moving you to want to immigrate. Don't allow anyone to set you back. Canada is like this does not mean that the country is bad. If you want a province that is less expensive, move to that province. If it's the cost of living that is the problem, move to that province. Otherwise, if it is job that is the problem, you want a province that can easily give you job. I made a video. If you've not watched that video, go and watch it. How you should be able to tell if a particular province have high job in your previous experience. I made a detailed video about that. So if you want to know if a particular province has a high job in demand for your particular experience, go and watch that video so that if you can use that factor to decide which province is okay for you. I was making I was on live video on TikTok. Someone said I live in Toronto. Then another person was like, rest in peace. As in people that are in Toronto should rest in peace. I was like, why RIP? They are living there does not mean that they can't afford it. At least people that are there, they are making money, right? And they are still paying their rent. Why some that are still working in Toronto, they also live in neighborhood. They don't necessarily live in Toronto. They can live in places like Sudbury and the rest, like neighborhood. Some people do a transit from 1 hour from where they are located, as where they are staying, to Toronto, because Toronto is their workplace. People also do that. Why people still live in Toronto? People live in Toronto. Toronto is highly populous. So it doesn't mean that you're hearing news that Toronto is very expensive. That does not mean that people are not there. Okay? It's just like you are in Nigeria and you say Abuja. Because Abuja is expensive or Lagos is expensive, people will run away from there. It's not possible. In Toronto, you have a very high job demands, as in you can easily get job in Toronto. So always know the factors, the deciding factors that can help you to decide which province you want to immigrate to. Canada, don't say Canada is too expensive. You cannot just generalize that Canada is too expensive. You can't do that, okay? Because like I said, we have 10 provinces in Canada and 3 territories. So there is no way that the whole of the province are expensive. Only Ontario alone is bigger than, if you are in Nigeria, is bigger than the whole of Nigeria. Only one province, Ontario. So how can you say that the whole of Canada is expensive? So I hope I've been able to answer your questions, guys. If you have any other question, drop on the comment section, or you can send me a DM if you are following me on TikTok. And we are growing so much on TikTok. We are over 8,000 followers. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel and then don't forget to hit the notification bell icon. Thank you.